excited to be back here at Duval. You know, last time I stood on this stage, I was supporting another strong woman who was running for office, Tracy. So I know she couldn't be here tonight, but it's been such an honor to be back here in Duval. And we're going to win. We're going to win. And you know why we're going to win? Is because there are women all over the state that are coming out to support each other and to support women's reproductive health care. And so I'm sure you've all seen the new poll that came out from the University of North Florida. Yes. And you know what that poll says? That we're going to win. And the energy that we feel all across the state, the excitement, the people wanting to come out and feel like they're a part of something bigger than themselves, because they are. But we have a little bit of a primary to get through first, because we know that we are going to make Ron DeSantis a one-term governor and a zero-term president of the United States. But we got to get through our first primary. So let me tell you how we're going to do that too. We're showing up. We're showing up for the people. We're fighting for what is right every single day. We're making sure that people are feeling that this is not my campaign. This is our campaign. That we are creating a movement on the ground. And that poll showed that we are winning by 20 points by women. And not just in the primary, but in the general election. The women are going to take us over the edge. Because look, we all felt that day when Roe was overturned. And for all the women that are in here that have been fighting for 50 years, thank you. Thank you, and I am standing on all of your shoulders. And the baton has been passed now to this generation. And we know that we've got to be fighting for the next generation. Because that is what democracy means, and that's what it means to stand up for what we believe in. And so as we crisscross this state and we're having our closing argument, I still have my legal background here. My legal arguments are this: that Democrats, when I talk to them all across, they have two issues. One, who can beat Ron DeSantis? That is the number one priority, because all the things that we talk about, all the issues that we're fighting for, they go to the wayside if we can't win. And two, they want to know that somebody's going to fight for them. And so as our only statewide elected Democrat, the only person in this race, both in my primary and the general, who has won Duval, I know how to win our state. I know how to make sure that we are crisscrossing the state, talking to not just areas that are blue, but making sure that we're talking to areas that have to be turned blue, like Duval and Seminole County, which we won in 2018. And we got to make sure that we're talking to areas that are red, because we know that there are Democrats there, and we know that they too are ready for something new. They're ready for a fighter who has been in the trenches for 3.5 years, taking on Ron DeSantis. So we are confident that with your help, with you talking to your neighbors and to your friends and making sure that you're getting out that vote. And if you haven't already voted, how many hands? Who has not voted yet? I'm going to shame you all for a little bit. I'm going to shame y'all. You still have time. You still have time, so make sure that you can do early voting between now and the 21st. Polls are open from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. So we need to make sure that we're getting everybody out to vote. And you know, a lot of times people keep saying, well, why you? Why you over your other primary opponent? And I say very simple. One, I registered to vote when I was 17 years old, and I became a Democrat. And I have never looked back. You know, I've said this also numerous times. I grew up in a household where my mom is a die-hard Democrat. She was a teacher for 25 years. My dad, well, he's a Republican. We pray a lot for him, it's okay. But what they collectively taught me is that when in the Jewish faith we call it tikkun olam, to heal the world. That's why I shunned private practice to become a public defender. It's why I took on the big banks during the foreclosure crisis. It's why I have fought for foster care kids. And that's why I've been so difficult on Charlie during this primary. Because taking money from the NRA, supporting judges who have taken away literally black congressional district from here, and supporting judges who have sought their entire careers to overturn Roe v. Wade is the exact opposite of healing the world. So when we win on August 23rd, we are going to be ready for that fight on August 24th. And let me tell you why I know that we're going to beat Ron DeSantis. If you haven't already heard, Ron likes to cancel cabinet meetings. He's been doing it for the last 2 years. But you know when there's next cabinet meeting? Tuesday, election day. So he's been canceling it all year, but let's do it on election day. Because why? He's scared of us. He's scared of the fire that we are going to bring. And so he thought by putting me in Tallahassee on election day that it was going to stop the momentum that we are seeing on the ground. Nope. Well, we're going to prove him wrong. We're going to prove him wrong. And so let me tell you how we're going to beat Ron DeSantis. Because the momentum that we are going to have coming out of this primary. Because let me tell you how many pundits have said she can't win. How many people have counted us out. How many people have said she can't win, he's got name ID for 30 plus years. But you know what? We've got the people. And so when we win on the 23rd, the momentum that we are going to carry to the general election. And the message is very clear. 2 things. 1, we're going to talk about freedom. You know that little word that Ron DeSantis likes to use all the time? Let me tell you about freedom. There's a 16-year-old girl today that was denied a right to have an abortion this week because a piece of legislation and a law that my primary opponent actually campaigned on and fought for when he was a Republican. And this 16, 17-year-old girl was denied a right to have an abortion because she doesn't have parents to sign off on it. Imagine being 16 and where there's conflicts if she's 16 or 17. Imagine being a 16-year-old girl being pregnant, not having resources, not having family, and being asked to go in front of a court to make a decision for her own body. That is not freedom. That is not freedom, and we're going to hear stories like that, unfortunately, all across our state. I don't call that freedom. The second reason why we're going to win is because Florida has become unaffordable. No matter who you talk to, no matter where you go, people can't afford their rent. People can't afford their property insurance. They can't afford their taxes. They can't afford their food. They can't afford to live here in the state. Florida is the most expensive state in the nation. That is on Ron DeSantis. That is on him as he wants to go around our state talking about how great we are. Well, we've got 2 Floridas right now. One for the top 1% and one for everybody else. And people are tired of this. They are tired of 28 years of one-party control. Because we're not just running against Ron DeSantis. We are running against a system that people keep saying is broken. The system isn't broken. The system is working exactly how they've designed it to work. And for 28 years, we've had one party controlling that system. So you want to know why it's harder to vote? You want to know why our unemployment system crashed? You want to know why that our education system is being funded at the bottom of the nation? You want to know why we have a teacher shortage of 9,500 across the state? You want to know why our insurance rates are higher? It's because we've had 28 straight years of one party controlling our state. And in November, that ends. That ends in November. And when we carry our message all across the state, we are going to get Republicans and we are going to get NPAs and we're going to get our Democratic base excited, and momentum is going to be on our side. And we're going to win because we're going to support the bottom of the ticket first. And so we've got candidates here that we are going to support to make sure that we are giving them the resources necessary. And when you build the bottom up, the top wins too. So before I close, I want to try something. For every woman in this room, raise your hands. For everyone who supports these women, raise your hand. This is what's called democracy. And this is what unification looks like. And this is how we are going to win. So together, we are going to create history. We are going to try something new, and we're going to put the first female governor into the mansion. So thank you, Duval, and I am excited to bring it home with you all. Now go enjoy food and drinks. Thank you. Hello, how are you?
Well, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. Doing great. Yes.